This is the fourth and last game of Peril at the Pole tournament I attended over Christmas. If you're watching this, you must have enjoyed my previous report, so thank you for watching. That gives me a bit more motivation to carry on doing these reports and try to get better. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. So let's recap a bit. We've regrouped in the pole, found our missing troops. We've captured some elves who gave us some tips about toy factories. We've tried to recuperate some of our magic items from a toy factory. And now we know where Santa is, so we're moving to Santa's grotto. Santa is outside his grotto on the field, and we're trying to get our Lord's toy back from him. So how does this work? Well, you need to make a leadership check to charge Santa. If you charge successfully Santa, you get a gift. Well, if you don't roll a 1. You can only get one gift, regardless of how many units charge Santa successfully. When you get Santa, you get D6 strength 6 hits back, no armor saves of any kind. Once you get your gift and Santa slaps you, you move back 1 inch, and then Santa rolls for random movement. Of course, the objective of the game is to get as many gifts as possible. Little twist on this one: if you roll a 6 on the table, you get the highest, most expensive item in your book. So Bretonnia is pretty crap because I get a 65-point weapon, which is not that great for my paladins. But you know, your high elves, your lizardmen, you get some of these 100 points item, which are really good, and you give it to anybody, even if it's a as was said in the rules, even if it's a goblin shaman, you give him a sword that kills, basically. So good luck with that. In this game I'm playing against high elves. The pictures unfortunately do not represent the beauty of his army. It was commission painted and was definitely worth it. It was very beautiful. My opponents was very friendly, and I really enjoyed this game. We learned a lot as well, both ways. So from the top left, you get 2 units of Reavers, 1 Eagle, a unit of 5 Silver Helms, and it's got a block of Silver Helms, totaling 20 models, including his general. There's a mage in there, there's a BSB. It's deadly. It's a big block. Yeah. Then next to that, or beyond the rocks, you get another eagle, and behind that you get a lion chariot. Did I forget the elephant in the room? Yes, I forgot the phoenix next to the silver helm. Sorry about that. And of course, you get Santa in the middle, was provided by the tournament organizer with humor. It's fully chocolate, fully edible, and goes to the winner. For magic, you get level 1 of metal, and you get Searing Doom. On the Bretonnian side, from the top left, I get my unit of Pegasus Knights ready to counter Vanguard his Reavers. Get my true trebuchets over there. My unit of Knight of the Realms. My block of Men-at-Arms with the Damsel. My unit of Knight Errants with the BSB and the General. And then my unit of Questing Knights. For my spell, level 2 of Beast, I get Savage Beast. And I forgot, and it doesn't really matter, as you'll see. We roll for Vanguard and I win. It's very important for me. I move up my Pegasus Knights like so he cannot Vanguard within 12 inches of them, which saves me about a run of shooting with a trebuchet. On his Vanguard, he shuffles all his Vanguarding units as close as he can, as you can see at the top of the screen there. On the right hand side, he moves up his Eagle. Bretonnian Prey, and high of turn 1, he moves up his Fast Cav and his Eagle on the left hand side of the board. He then reverses his unit of 5 Silver Lances. I'm not sure why, but he does. He moves up his block of Silver Helms and moves up in parallel his Frost Phoenix. His chariot is there, and as mentioned in the previous shot, he moved his Eagle on the right hand side in the Vanguard move. In his magic phase, he casts Searing Doom on the Questing Knight, which I dispel. Bretonnia, turn 1, I charge my Men-at-Arms into Santa. I prepare my Knight of the Realm facing his wing advances on the left-hand side of the board, he's gonna most likely charge the trebuchet or try to get to my flank, so I'm preparing them. And I shuffle a bit my knight errant and my questing knight forward. The peg knight is not able to charge this turn. I decide to face them towards the main action, where I think is going to be around center, my men-at-arms and my lances. In my magic phase, I get a toy from center, I get slapped back from center. I decide to cast Savage Beast, which I rolled, and I miscast, unfortunately. The surge of magical energy detonates around the damsel, causing 6 wounds to the men-at-arms and 1 wound to the damsel. In the shooting phase, it's a time for the trebuchet to shine. Unfortunately, I rolled 2 misfire while target the reavers on the left. So one is out for 1 turn, the second one is out for 2 turns. High Elf turn 2, he charges his big lance of silver helms and his phoenix successfully into my men-at-arms. The phoenix couldn't fit, so we move him back there, but yeah, he's in contact. He then proceeds to slip his second eagle on the right hand side behind my unit of knights. I forgot to mention on the left, his second eagle successfully charged one of my trebuchet. One of his units of reavers gets closer to the action. The second one comes back around behind my Pegasus Knight, trying to keep them at bay. And then behind all the action, his unit of 5 silver helms get closer, and his chariot gets closer as well. His magic phase is a wash, and in the shooting phase, his reavers do 0 wound to the peg knights on the top left of the screen there. In the combat phase, the eagle causes enough wound to the trebuchet crew to make them panic and run them down. To make the odds a bit better in my favor, I declare a challenge with my damsel, so move her across on one of his champion. That will protect her from the phoenix for 1 more round if she's still there after this round. She is toughness 6 and has 4 attacks, so you never know.
I believe I can fly.
Of course, the odds were not in my favor, even though I tried a little bit of tricks there. Both his Phoenix and Silver Helms cause 13 wounds in total with the thunderstorms, etc., etc. So I need Snake Eyes to stick. I fail. Of course, I got a BSB, but I don't roll a double one. I flee 7 inches, and he overruns with both his units. And I couldn't have expected a better overrun from him. He does not overrun into any of my other units, and he's standing there, ready to be charged. So of course, Bretonnia turn 2, I must oblige. So I tried to fit 2 units on the flank of his Silver Helm, so it didn't work. So I charged my General and BSB bus into the flank of Silver Helms, and I charged my Questing Knights into the flank of his Phoenix. The Peg Knights wanted to be part of the party, charged the other flank of the Silver Helms. And to make good measure, I reform my unit of Knight of the Realm in front of the Silver Helms, just in case there's some few left for next turn. No more magic, and nothing to shoot with. Everything is stun or busy doing something else this turn. Let's go into combat. I decide to challenge with the Peg Knights, thinking I'm going to maximize the General's attack. And he accepts with his General. His General kills my Peg Champion. However, with my BSB, my General, the Knight Errant and the whole lance, and the remaining Pegasus Knights hitting on the unit of Silver Helms, he loses by 6. The Silver Helm break, they roll 12, and although I pursue with both my Peg Knights and my Knight Errant unit, I do not catch him. In the other combat with the Phoenix, the Questing Knight failed a fear check, and although they have a reroll for anything to do with leadership test, they fail again. I cause no wound. The Phoenix causes only 1 wound on the Questing Knight. He loses by 3. Unfortunately, he makes his break test. And then combat reforms to face me. High Elf turn 3. His A unit of 5 Silver Helm charges center. His chariot fails. His second eagle successfully charges my second trebuchet. And the second eagle, which overran off the board after killing the trebuchet, comes back on the board. In the magic phase, the high elf gets a toy, Santa doesn't move, and the phoenix gets +1 strength. And as his silver helm unit rallied and reformed to face my peg knight and my knight errant, he tries to cast Searing Doom but fails. And then on to combat phase. So that's an interesting picture, isn't it, at the bottom there? Well, would you believe it? The eagle on the trebuchet gets 2 wounds, doesn't cause any, and flees. So way for the crew. The phoenix only gets 2 wounds through. I make wall save like it's out of fashion, and I win. I win by 1, and the phoenix passed his moral check. Bretonnia turn 3. So what do? I charge both my Pegasus Knight and my Knight Errant into the Silver Helms. And for good measure, to support the Questing Knight, I charge my unit of Knight of the Realms into the flank of the Phoenix. The crew of the Trebuchet, after having victoriously defeated the Eagle, turn around and try to shoot at the Silver Helm that tries to get Santa. Unfortunately, they misfire. In the combat phase with the Phoenix causes 1 wound to the Questing Knight, and I save it with my war save. The Knight of the Realm on the flank of the Phoenix caused 10 hits, 0 wound. The Questing Knights are hitting last, 5 hits, 0 wounds. However, I've got banners, I got flank, I've got charges, I've got ranks. The Phoenix breaks and I overrun him with my unit of Knight of the Realm and Questing Knight together. The close proximity of the 5 Silver Helms causes them to panic as well, as they see their monstrous, beautiful Phoenix creature being chased down and hacked to pieces. The chariot, however, remains stoic with nerves of steel. And then on to the big combat. So the Silver Helms versus my Knight Errant with my BSB, my general, and the 2 remaining Pegasus Knight. The Bretonnian general challenges and he accepts with his unit champion. The general causes 1 wound, which is enough to dispatch the champion. The High Elf General hits my unit of Knight Errant and causes 3 wounds, and I make 3 ward saves. He had +5 strength, so I had a 5+ ward save, which was great. Silver Helms on Peg Knights, they cause 1 wound when I make my save. And then on to Bretonians, my BSB causes 1 wound, my Knight Errant causes 3 wounds, my Peg Knights cause 1 wound, and the Knight Errant horses, I'm really pissed off, and cause 2 additional wounds. Combat resolution, Bretonians win by 9. The elite unit of Silver Helms break with the general and decide to pursue with both units. I remind you that both units have 3 stride. And I failed to overrun. Again. Turn 4 for High Elves is not gonna go well. It starts with this unit of Silver Helms do not rally and run off the table. The shameful eagle who lost combat against the Trebuchet's crew is not rallying and carries on flaying. The small unit of Silver Helms that fled because they panicked when the Phoenix was killed flee again. They do not rally. They flee through the unit of Reavers, as you see at the top of the screen there. The Reavers fail their panic check and flee off the table. The Chariot passes his leadership check and can charge successfully Santa. He gets 1 toy. And that's pretty much it for the High Elf turn 4. As the clock is running, this is the last turn, Bretonnia turn 4. I charge my Knight of the Realm into Santa, as passed my leadership test, and I roll a 6. I get the best item in the Bretonnia's book. Or let me rephrase, the most expensive item. So there you go, very unfortunate end of game for the High Elves. It didn't go well when I've been able to claim them with 2 units on the flanks. That was bad for the Silver Helms. It was a very fun game. A lot of mishaps happened both sides. A lot of good things happened. Well, pretty much my side. I'm sorry to say, or I'm glad to say. In terms of results, we both got 2 toys. We therefore scored a draw. However, I scored the whole bonus victory points, so I ended up with 18 to 10. I'll take this opportunity to thank my opponent for this great game, and as well, this is the last game of the tournament, so thank you everybody who attended the tournament. Thank you, Mark, for organizing it. First tournament was interesting. I'll do a quick video after that for my thoughts on tournaments and things, recommendations, experiences, and so on and so forth. Maybe that's of use for some of you who consider maybe going to tournaments. In the end, after 4 games and a long day and very exhausting day, it took me a couple of days to recover after that. I mean, back-to-back games, very intense, new players, different pace, a lot of things to consider. It's quite exhausting. It takes a lot of practice. However, nonetheless, the results. Ta-da! Here we go. So I won my first game. I drew my second game, won by victory point. I lost my third game completely. It was a total wash. And I drew my last game, but won by victory point. So 3 victories in principle, 1 loss. However, the victories were not strong enough, and the loss was a very bad one. So I ended up being ranking 18 out of 29. So it's alright. I didn't expect anything high. Especially with these armies as Bretonnians. They're not the best, they're not the most suited for the scenarios, but they were fun to play. They are fun to play, I like to play them. So yeah, I mean, it's not all about winning, it's all about enjoying the journey, participating, as we say, around the Olympic Games. It was good, it was really good. I'm the second out of the 4 guys from the club. The guy in front of me finished first, so goodies to him. Can teach me a few things, I hope. He has already. But yeah, this is where we are. It's a tournament. At the end, you compete against the others. You compete against yourself. You compete against the dice. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy.